Hi guys, how y'all doing? My name is Fabian Martin, this is Elise Bond, Chris Terrio, and Luca Balzano. Our clients were Aaron and Laura Baker in the back there, and we're a team in theory. The name of our project is Duly Notated. It's for the ECQ School of Music. Basically what they wanted from us was a custom test creation software so they can build musical staffs and everything, give it to the students. And an online course management system. They have a couple schools in different countries and everything. Chris will get to that later. But their problem was making the staffs was extremely hard in Microsoft Word, copy and pasting all kind of images on top of each other. So that was the general idea behind making this project.
Like Fabian just said, the biggest problem was making the test for the school, because they needed to make tests with music in them. So think of sheet music, but they needed to be able to put questions in there. And the biggest problem was that there are programs for one or the other, but not both. You could get Microsoft Word obviously as a word processor to create your test, but there was no way to put, or there was a way, but it was very difficult to put musical notation in there. And then there are programs such as Finale that are excellent sheet music generators, but no way to put questions in there, put text. There was not really a text editor. So they needed a way to be able to combine the two. So that's what our job was. And they asked us to put this together, so we decided to create software that could create both written tests, and they could put the music software, combine the music and the word processor, and also to be able to create lectures and notes that they would upload to the online system for their schools. For the desktop, I think I just said all that, but for the desktop, we were going to create an application in C#, do a WPF application, and create a custom built program that would allow them to create the musical notation that Finale offers, but combine the capabilities, or the common, most basic capabilities that Word offers. And so that's what we decided to do. And then also you would be able to create lectures that you could upload online and put on the online system, which is kind of like a Blackboard.
As Fabian started to mention earlier, in addition to having test creation problems, a unique problem for our client was that they had international campuses. They have campuses in the Philippines and are currently trying to make some in India. And as we all know, being as how the economy is going down, and plane tickets are going up, and all of the money stuff, it's very hard to get to international campuses, so they only get there once or twice a year. So we all are also in college and know that it's very hard to learn something if you're only learning for a couple weeks out of a year. And they want to learn. So we presented to them being able to have an online course management system, something like a Blackboard, where they could put up lectures and courses, they could take exams online, and then be able to interact with their students even more than just the once or twice a year they were actually able to get there.
And the way we accomplished this was we developed a C# ASP.NET application. We have 4 roles at the moment. 3 implemented. The system administration is going to be further down the line. That's going to be more my deal whenever the semester's finished. But right now we have administrators, we're going to have professors, and we're also going to have students. So the administrators themselves will be able to create users, create courses, assign professors to certain courses that they want. The professors themselves will be able to manage the courses. They'll be able to create lectures, exams, announcements, quizzes, assignments, and things of that nature. And also then the students, of course, will be able to access the courses, their exams, and all that good stuff.
So what have we been able to do by today? For the desktop, I would say we have about 90–95% of the desktop completed. We were able to create the tests, both the word processor and the music notation. You can save them you can print them, or you can save them to upload online. We also have the staff, which is my favorite part. It's a custom staff that allows you to create sheet music or whatever. And then just a basic text editor for the questions, since that's what they need. That's all for the desktop.
As far as the web portal or online course management system, currently we have activated a chat. Users log in, you accept friends, and you can chat with your teachers. That saves you phone bills. International calls are sometimes expensive, so you can still interact with your teachers through our chat system. We have document upload. They create their own files in the desktop, a .dnt, and we have incorporated that into our internet system as well, that we can upload the DNT files and display them. So the students will be able to see their exams, their tests, or whatever, and be able to take them. And also, of course, user creation. The admins can create the users, and then the students can then go in there and do what they need to do with their exams.
The future goals for the desktop are just to add more symbols. If you know music at all, there's a billion symbols you could potentially use, and it's just hard to populate all those into the program. So we have a basic set at the moment, and it's not a problem other than time, just putting them all in there, and efficiency as far as having them easy to access. So adding the symbols and then adding functionality to the text editor, because right now it's just basic. Anything you would basically need to do as far as text goes, you can do, but anything more, like Word gets really crazy with adding symbols and adding all these different things you can do. I'd like to be able to add that so that they could do potentially whatever they'd like and not just have the basic functionality.
And then for the online, for the web portal, we would like to integrate much more of the back-end functionality that we didn't get a chance to, and also a custom staff control. Essentially, it would be along the same lines as a desktop application, but instead of creating the test, we'll let the students take the exam that way. So, Mr. Aaron and Ms. Laura could essentially put too many notes in one stat and one bar, and let the students figure it out on their own through the web portal, probably using jQuery. I haven't really looked into it yet, but that's going to be definitely down the road.
So we're going to go ahead and do the demo of the desktop version, so that y'all can see that.
You make a name for it.
So we just have our login for the desktop. You can create a new test, you can edit a test you've already created, or you can choose a template, because a lot of their tests may look similar, so they just already have a template, they won't have to create it from scratch every time. For now, we're going to create a new test. Oh, and then you can also create, add and edit users and basic functionality there. So this is our desktop program. I apologize, it's a little dark on the projector, looks much brighter over here. And basically, if you were at prototype, it looked similar, but the main thing that's different is that we had a staff up here that you would do what you wanted to do with the notes, drag the notes on the staff, and then you would copy that staff into the document. And the problem being that if you wanted to edit the staff, you couldn't do it. You had to start over. Think about that. That's just inefficient, because you make one mistake and you have to go back and draw the whole staff over again. So what we decided to do instead, right after prototype, we met with the clients and revamped everything, decided instead we would go ahead and integrate the staff into the program itself. So now you are able to actually drag the staff onto the document and place it wherever you'd like, and then you can build your staff from there. So you've got your different notes to choose from here. You can add all these different things, and basically, this is what I was talking about with adding more symbols. I've got a basic set here, but obviously you're going to want more. So this is basically what we have right now, and Fabian's going to talk more about what we can do on this.
All right, to go ahead and pick up where Elise left off. The arrows right here next to the symbols, if you hit them, it expands it and gives you a couple more symbols, just a couple more options that you may have. You can move the symbols that are on a staff. You can pick them up and move them where you'd like once they're dropped. You can delete a symbol. You can go ahead and add another one. You can do that. All right, so you got your staff. Now, say you want to throw some text in there, explain maybe what's this doing, or ask a question about it. If you go ahead and click the text box up there and drag it onto the canvas. What this is just a basic, it's a text area that you could put text in, whatever you want, a note, explain something about the staff, This text box has anything, sorry about that. This text box has anything, any capabilities, well, most of the capabilities you can do in Word. You can highlight the text, you could change the font size, the font, and you could put it in the middle, to the right, to the left. You could add bulleted lists, anything you would kind of want to do in a basic text edit. And also for the online side, if you want to create a test, you would put something in this text box, like ask a question, and then you would hit the multiple choice symbol up here, and if you right click it, it asks you how many questions you want. You select one, yeah, okay, and if you drag it onto the canvas, it generates a multiple choice question, and you could put the answers however you like. And the selected radio button right here tells you what answer is the correct answer. You can go ahead and save this test if you like. Name whatever you like. And it's saved. So say you want to start over creating another test. There's it, and you can start from scratch. Say you realize, oh, you forgot something. You can go ahead and open the test that you just saved a minute ago. And there it is, what you just saved and created. It's back the way it was. And I think that's about it for the desktop side. We'll show you a little bit how the two sides talk in a minute when I hand it over to Lieutenant.
Just a couple more things about the staff, because this is most of what the desktop is about, is creating the staff. You've got all your little things you can add here, your time signatures, let's see. And everything snaps to the graph, to staff, and you can move around if you don't like where it is or whatever. You've got your bar line down here, so when you put some notes in there, I guess. You've got your bar line, which you can also move around. It's all editable, so you can move it all around. If you want the staff to be shorter, like if you're done and you think it's got too much extra space, you just shorten it. So, or if you need to be longer, you know, whatever. You can create another staff and have as many as you want. The notes can move back and forth between the staffs. So anyway, just all kinds of different things you can do with those. And I guess that is the majority of what we have there.
We're going to hand it over to Luke and Chris, and they're going to talk about the web application.
We're going to go ahead and launch Chrome here. So here's our login page. The validation, Chris is going to log in as me. I'm a system administrator at the moment, so I can pretty much do whatever I please. As you notice, the passwords are definitely encrypted. They're stored encrypted. On login, they get encrypted and checked against the hash password that's stored in the database. We have query string encryption. Everything is encrypted for the most part. All the important information, that is. So right now, we're on the home page at the moment. We are going to go ahead and create a new user. Oh, this formatting is looking like yeah,
it's a projector.
Projector will be making a little screwy. I'm going to go ahead and pick on one of our favorite people over here. Yeah, those are supposed to be password boxes. A lot of it is about that. Definitely missed that. That will definitely be fixed in the future improvement.
I can't type in this keyboard.
Formatting is really we're going to pick on Dr. Alkai a little bit, make him a student. Let him know what he puts us through. We're going to go ahead and submit that. So now if you scroll down, you'll see Dr. Alkai is at the bottom of the list, activated. Right now, we're not checking, we're not returning all the active users just to show that there is a difference between all the users, because you have a couple users with no, and after the future developments, of course, we're going to only return all the active users, because we don't want to delete any users from the database in case there's any kind of foreign key constraints with anything that we had created before. All right, so right now, what we're going to do, we're going to create a course. Let's create a course for us. I love projectors. As you can see, we have a custom calendar control. We wanted to use a pre-existing one, but we kind of wanted to take on the challenge ourselves and work with it because that's how you learn. We're going to go ahead and actually dynamically create a semester here. Get something created. Get that mine. There you go. All right, now you can select it from the bottom drop down list. Professor, you can choose test professor font. Let's select the date. The calendar control is a little wonky at the moment. It was working when we were developing, and then SVN somehow must have made it a little wonky. But for the most part, it's all intact. All right, so now we have a course. Now we're going to go ahead and make an announcement for this new course. It's going to be the date that it was created. Professor. The reason we did it is that we did it this way. For every entry they can create for any lecture assignment or anything of that nature, we allowed them to select the professor because you never know. A big reason that they needed the desktop application was because there's limited internet access where they are. So we figured if we allow people to choose the professor, if one professor can't get access to the internet one day, maybe they could have another professor do the work for them or an administrator and make the course for them. So we just kind of kept that in mind. So now we're going to go ahead and let's upload an exam now. Just going to create a new exam. Make an offline exam for our new course. Give it a description.
And I messed it up already. Elise is going to go ahead and navigate to the document that they just saved, that they just created, the DNT.
And this little numeric up down is an Ajax control toolkit tool that we use.
I'm breaking something, I apologize.
Now we're going to go ahead and log out. And I'll let Chris walk me through the next portion.
We're going to go ahead and log in now as a student so you can see the views of what a student has to go through once they're created into the system. So we're going to log in as myself. I'm currently not an admin in the system, I am a student. He didn't promote me yet. Anyway, when you get here, you can see I have already enrolled in some courses, I have some lectures coming up, but we can see that the new course that was just created, I'm not a student of. So what we want to do is go to enrollment, and when we get into enrollment, we see all of our courses. The little stars show that I'm currently enrolled in that course. Now, as of right now, students can currently enroll and unenroll as they freely choose. In future editions, we will have that blocked. Admin will have to approve that they are accepted into the course, and yes, they can drop the course, or no, they can't. But that's all future stuff. So we're going to add in our course. We're going to enroll in our course, and we will go back and we'll show you that. Did you enroll?
Yeah, probably.
What's been a little glitch, I apologize for that. We should be enrolled. There it is. Okay, so I apologize for what happened. I'm not sure what happened there, but so we can see that our course is there, and currently, if you look, we have our announcement that also added over here, and final exam added underneath our exams. And that's all your exams from every course. And if you were to click on, like, let's say, the course, we want to just look at our course and see what's in our course. We pull up our course overview page. This shows everything that's currently in the courses, and they are collapsible panel extenders. So if you have too much and there's too many announcements and you can't see the rest, you can just collapse the panel and you're perfectly fine. So if you want to, let's say you want more information about that announcement, maybe it was too long to fit in the course overview, you can click on announcement, it'll bring you to our announcement page, which is small because the announcement was really small. If you go back, let's go ahead and look at our exam that we had. So we're going to click on final exam, and we see, we apologize for the dark colors right now. We see we have an exam, it gives a description, this is the final exam, and a click to view the exam. So if you click on the exam, it shows the exam. Now, I will throw in a little bug here. We are aware of that the notes that they put in all of their images is a certain font type, which we do not have installed on our development server currently. But we're gonna, we're gonna get that font installed and it will work perfectly fine. But so you can view your picture, and then you can upload your answer file with this. So we're gonna go ahead and log out now and show you our last feature. Our chat. I'm going to log in again as myself over here. And I'm currently logged in over here. When he logs in right here, he is not my friend yet, so he can't see me. But as you can see, I've sent him a friend request, which he can accept or decline if he chooses. But in this case, we'll accept, and you can see that I'm added to the box. So you can start a chat, and the chat will pop up. It's a little formatty. We're working on that. But he can chat with me, and I will see it over here and respond. And I can respond back to him on that page. So we have our chat.
All right, I think we're a little out of time, so any questions really fast? Sorry it took so long.
How did you implement the chat?
That was a very fun experiment. It took me a while to learn the difference between application states, session states, and all that fun stuff. But all it does is it creates an application list of users and an application list of chats. And we start chats and we end chats as users log on and off. Also, when you're logged on, when you're put into the application list for online users, it will check to verify that you're a friend before displaying that person to you. So that's how I currently implemented the chat. It's just application lists and...
So is this currently polling for messages for that user, or are you just not pushing them down?
I'm sorry?
How do new messages show up?
The messages show up right now. They go into, it starts a chat class, which is pushed onto the application. So on the server, both users, we push both user IDs, and they become the two users involved in the chat class. The chat class has a list of strings, and as you hit the submit button, it adds that string, and then it just keeps displaying the strings as they come up. Every time it updates the string list. And it's fully possible. We plan on in the future adding a button to add more people to the chat. If you want to have a group chat, it would just add more users to the chat class.
Any other questions?
What methodology are you using to build your files, and then how are you reading those back in and regenerating?
We actually had a lot of fun with that over the last couple of days. The way we save it on the desktop side is basically a saving example code. So we had a lot of trouble getting that to render in here. What we happened to come across with, we found out a way how to take the XAML code and render it as a PNG image file. So that's how we're actually displaying it on the web, on the web code side. That was really fun. Took a lot of that.
Is there a reason that y'all didn't use Silverlight for the desktop and for the client? Because then you could have done XAML on both the web and also on the desktop?
Silverlight was something I was thinking about implementing, but at the time we started off as an ASP.NET application, just because last semester we were in 383 and we got to work with MVC. So we wanted to see a little bit how ASP worked. And I mean, who knows, we might even rebuild this thing in Silverlight down the road. But for now, we definitely just wanted to touch base with ASP.NET and make sure we understood the, the core of web development. Anybody else?
For the desktop application, can you place notes or above or below the staff?
Yes, that was actually my favorite part of the
Yeah, I
shoot.
forgot about that.
So now I'm gonna show it. Something somebody else. Yes, Q&A for legend lines and such, and it automatically adds your notes, your lines. So if you whatever. Anyway.
Can you add modifiers to notes such as dots or ties?
Those will be, I don't have them in the symbol base yet, but you'll be able to just drag them, they'll be like any other symbol. So.
The way we're handling symbols is basically a label with it's a special text that's musical notes. So we're basically just assigning the text of that label to the font.
So they all take up space on the grid, but they're not exclusive. You can place one on top of another. So you would just put, if you wanted a dotted note or something, which we'll probably have a dotted note in there, but if you wanted something funny that we didn't have, you would just be able to drag it in a combination of symbols.
So how did you guys made the UI for that from scratch?
The staff? Yes, the staff is, well, all of it's from scratch, but the staff also, the whole program is from scratch.
So has the client used the program yet or not?
No, they haven't.
Did you like what you said?
All right, I think we're pretty much out of time, so no more questions.